Alright, we're going to be watching Habibi, who's Silver 4, playing on King's Row, Reinhardt, and Winston. What should I do when I feel overwhelmed? I've gotten to playing tank recently, and there have been so many games where it feels like I cannot do anything. During the first half of the game, I feel like I had no control, and they kept pushing the payload. The second half was sort of better, as I mean Winston, but still lost in the end. Any advice on how to play better? Alright, so, let's take a look. I have not pre-watched this video, so this is going to be a live take. So playing the right spot, right, playing at this corner, just trying to, just hold the corner right now, not taking too much damage. You're trying to farm fire strikes. This is like a relatively small thing, but like I can already tell that your fire strikes are not likely to land. Like this fire strike is a very low percentage chance. Like he has a lot of time to see it coming and dodge it, right? I would wait until there's multiple people grouped up or they're a little closer before throwing a fire strike, right? So we're waiting, right? So your fire strike comes off cooldown, you immediately try to chuck it again. There's not even anybody here. Like you're just kind of guessing that someone's getting there. Farming ultimate charge is really, really, really important on Reinhardt, right? Because you can get Shatter very, very quickly, and Shatter's a very powerful, easy to use ultimate that's almost always a fight winner. So every fire strike you miss is a big deal, right? You really want to make sure, like at this point, I probably would only throw like one fire strike and had both available. I'd wait for them to come up and clump more, and I'd be hitting like 2, 3 plus targets with every single fire strike right now. By the way, in case you didn't know, you can hold shield here, and then you can look around a corner by holding the attack button. I do it so instinctively, I have to think about it. But you can hold the attack button and then look around the corner, even when you're over here in third-person view. It is in my Reinhardt techniques guide video that I will link. Reinhardt charges, you should not have done this. So I'm not really sure what you were thinking right now. You heard the charge coming, right? And then you step up into it. I would have just stayed right here on this side and just kept swinging at him, right? And done damage as he went by, right? Another option would have been to countercharge right here and then to plop him down right in the choke, which probably results in a kill. It's a little risky if he cancels it early though, right? If he cancels it like here, then you'll suddenly charge and have to cancel yours, and you'll be stuck in the open area. But just walking in front of him to get pinned here is literally the worst possible thing you could have done. The good news is he's super low. It's a bad charge for him by no matter what, but you die for it, which is really bad. So this might seem okay because you just traded tanks, right? So you're like, hey, this is a 50-50 play. It's not a 50-50 play. This is like a 70-30 play in their favor, right? 70%, 30% win chance instead is what I mean. The reason being is their spawn is right here. So trading on offense when you have short spawn is good. Trading in general when you have short spawn is good, right? The Ryan's gonna spawn and he's gonna be back out here in like 15 seconds. But look how far you need to travel, right? To get to the point. Like it's gonna take literally twice as long for you to get there. So that's gonna put their team in a 5-on-4 situation way before you. In addition, your Tracer also died. So when you died here, there's like no way that you could possibly win this fight. You see, like you've already basically lost the point. That's all you. Like all you do is just not get charged there. But that's like a huge like game breaking moment right there to lose the first point. Because taking first point in King's Row is like surprisingly tough. I would say pretty much always gets capped, but it takes a while, right? Like you can burn 2-3 minutes off the clock easily, very consistently on the first point defense of King's Row, and you gave it up in 1 minute. Which is no good. Right? That costs you a lot, right? And obviously you run out of time in the second half to be able to win the game. Note about aim here: you basically should never miss tanks with Fire Strike. That's if you want to climb, that's not a shot that you should be missing. So you're trying to predict where he goes. Just aim at him. This close, just aim at him, and you'll hit him with a Fire Strike. Even if he kept charging forwards here, you see how your Fire Strike would have hit him anyway. Right? Like you're trying to predict where he's going to go. Don't over predict. Just attack where he is at close range. Genji's here. You kind of force him back a little bit. So assuming you have all 5 people, you want to hold close here. You're missing your Tracer right now, which is going to put you Tracer and your Ana right now. So you probably can't hold choke unless your Ana gets here very quickly. Yeah, I would probably play this corner for now and just chill. You do not want Genji to keep... So those shurikens that Genji keeps throwing at you, like that one right there, and then he hits you again with those, you don't want to get hit by those. Not because the damage is really meaningful for you, like obviously he can get healed back up, it's because it's giving the Genji ultimate charge. And as soon as he gets Blade, that's a huge problem, right? Because your team's going to lose, because your team doesn't have anything to stop Blade. You don't have Beat, and you don't have Trance. So don't take damage for free for no reason, right? Like, it's just not, it's not helpful for you at all. So just chill, right? You're peeking around the corner, you're trying to get vision, that's fine. Shuriken's coming, just shield it briefly, right? Shield it briefly, put it back down, shield it up again, put it back down, whatever you need to do, just don't take too many Shurikens unnecessarily. don't throw that Fire Strike. Again, that Fire Strike has a very low chance of working. Also, throwing Fire Strikes to Genji is a bad idea because he can deflect them back at your team, which is what happens right there. Genjis will often bait out Fire Strike from Reinhardt's just so that he can knock it back into your team so that he can fire ultimate. Realistically, there's nothing you can do about this Genji. Like as Reinhardt in this situation, you literally can't do anything about it. I would just play choke now. Right? You have 4 people, 5 people, right? You have all 5 here. I would go up and play choke right now. Right? Your goal, your job here is not to deal with the Mercy. It's not to deal with the Genji. It's to stop the Reinhardt from doing anything. It's to stop the Soldier from doing anything. It's to stop the Ana from doing anything. That's your perspective. Right? Playing back here is not going to help because again, you're not going to be able to stop the choke, right? Once they start streaming through here, it's going to get harder and harder for you to do anything, right? The Reinhardt's going to run up to here, the Soldier's going to have like angles and play back here and like run over here. But if you play straight up at the choke, they all have to deal with you before they go anywhere, and that's really important. Yep. You're at the choke, you could have gotten a swing in there. So right there, you should have been walking forwards, you would have landed the hit. Another Fire Strike. Your Fire Strike accuracy is a huge problem. I don't know that I've seen you hit 1 Fire Strike so far, now that I think about it. Right? The Ana is standing still on the cart. The Reinhardt's on the left side of the cart where he can't possibly dodge it. Like, you have better options here than trying to attack the Soldier who's actively evading you. Alright. Grenade goes off. For perspective on ult charge, you're at 39%. The opposing Rein is at 69%. So he's 30% ahead of you, right? That's a really, really, really big deal. Again, super hard to make up for that ult charge, right? I would say, generally speaking, in a tight Rein race, the Reins are within 10% of each other. You are not doing well. Now, granted, he also won the fight, but like, you can make that back up with better Fire Strikes, right? On defense, it's quite easy to get multi-hit Fire Strikes in a choke map like King's Row. Alright, so purple goes off. You hear the charge, right? You should be reacting to, hey, look, there was a charge. Okay. So, let's reverse here. As a reminder, I said, your job here is to hold this choke, right? Don't worry about the Genji. Don't worry about the Mercy. Like, you literally can't do anything about them. It's simply not your job. Your job is to hold the choke. So you want to stop anybody from getting through this choke for free. So, we're going to pause right now. The Rein has charged in your purple. What do you do here? Well, you got multiple options. Number 1, countercharge the Rein, stop him right here. I think that's an okay option. Number 2, let the Rein through, especially since you're purple and you don't want to, go toe-to-toe with them right now. Let the Rein through and then step up and kill the Ana and the Soldier. Okay? I think that's also a viable option. Which option do you pick is none of the above, right? The Rein goes in, right? So you didn't countercharge him. You're also not going for the back line, and you're just standing here, and then your whole team just gets wrecked. Like, you see how you lost this fight? Like, with your Reaper dead, the fight is lost. There's like almost no way that you can win this fight now, right? You lost this fight by doing nothing. You know what I mean? Like, and I get that you're purple here, but you're purple here at full health. So, like, it's very possible for you to fight here, right? Either we're just fighting the Genji here or anything, but, like, honestly, stepping up right here and then shutting down the Ana and Soldier right away and potentially blocking the sleep. If you swung here, blocked sleep, you would just kill both of them, right? That would be a massive play to turn this around. But obviously, that's not super consistent, but at least going over here and forcing sleep, getting one big hit in, is better than what you did. Because all you do here is you just hold shield and you're like, oh man, this is bad. But, like, by doing nothing, you effectively lost the fight anyway. And now you're just going to get pushed back over and over again. Right? Genji's almost at Blade. As soon as he blades, the fight's, like, this will be a confirmed loss. Right? Another charge where you just let him in, but you both don't countercharge him, which is an okay option, but you also don't engage his backline. Right? Or another option would be to charge the Rein now. Like, all 3 of those are viable options, but you don't do any of the options, right? You finally charge, but like quite a bit late. It's very possible the Rein could have gotten way more value, and in fact, you're going to lose the Moira here, right? Moira gets killed by this charge in, right? This is why charging in after is not a great idea. It's like okay if that's like if you like are slow for whatever reason, you don't charge available, but like this was the worst of the possible outcomes. Again, one option would have been pushing the back line. One option would have been countercharging him. The third one, which is what you did, was just try to trade, but like, again, not great. I would also note they still have short spawn advantage because their spawn is all the way over here, right, which is relatively close. Your spawn is crazy far away, like so far away, right? So trading is not good for you, right? You have to be getting more than you're losing. So you're gonna get grenaded here, I would presume. Yeah, you blocked it, which is good. You charge in now, which is a bad idea. So, let's think about this charge. First of all, you should keep track of numbers, right? You should know right now this is a 3-on-5 situation because you've seen your Reaper die in the previous fight and you've seen your Moira fight die just now. Like both of those happened on your screen. So there's no reason for you to not realize that you're down 2 people right now, well, down 1 because the Reinhardt has died. You decide to charge in here, but the problem is this is an open space where everyone can kite you. And that is exactly what happens, right? Your charge is not even particularly on target, and everyone is just going to kite you right now. So if you were going to charge here, you should be aiming for the soldier to isolate him, right? Stay on this right, and then as it goes, right, drift in to the left, and then cut him off. And even if you don't land the pin, cancel the charge and immediately start swinging, and hopefully you can kill him. The worst thing here is that after this charge, your Ana nanos you, so you've baited nano, but you're not going to do anything with this nano. Like, I can already tell without watching this video, I already knew you're not going to do anything with this nano. You're lucky that the soldier dies here, because he didn't need to. The soldier could just ran away. Right? Like, if he just runs with this team instead of going to the doorway, he's fine. There's no need for him to have done this. Like, he could just dodge the fire strike by zigzagging. But this is a huge waste of nano, right? Because the soldier's going to be back in like 15-20 seconds, and then you're going to lose. Again, you're eating fire strikes for no reason. Like, you can see and hear the fire strikes coming, right? You hear and see the fire strike, and then you strafe into it. Then you hear and see the fire strike again, you strafe into it. It is not good mechanics. So the fire strikes have done 200 damage to you, so you're at 134 health, which puts you in big time trouble right now. You're not being healed for I don't know what reason, but regardless, you're in massive trouble at this moment in time. And because of that, you need to hold your shield constantly, and then you're afraid, and you die anyway. So optimally, right, let's say we were in a situation, forget how we got here, right, but let's say we were in the situation. I'm thinking Genji has Blade. I know I've seen Genji farming for Blade the whole time. He has a Mercy Pocket, so he's going to farm Blade even faster. The Blade is going to kill my team, okay? I do not have any defensive ultimates to stop it. How do I do something about it? I have 2 options. Number 1, shatter him. Number 2, charge him, okay? I have to shut down the Genji. If I do not shut down the Genji, we are guaranteed to lose. And after I shut down the Genji, the next thing I have to worry about is shatter. So the top tier play here is you keep your health up, right? You swing, kind of like maintain control of the corner. I see the Genji going. I track him. He goes in. I shatter preemptively when he goes on the Ana, because I guarantee you he's going on the Ana. Then I turn and immediately hold shield to prevent shatter. Because I guarantee the Rein, after he sees you turn for the shatter, is going to immediately shatter you. So turn, shatter, turn, shield. That's a lot to expect from a silver player. Like, I don't think even a gold or a platinum or possibly even a diamond player would even think of that option. But I'm telling you, that's like the optimal outcome right here. But losing 200 health for free for Fire Strike makes this completely untenable. Like, there's nothing you could have done because you're just way too low to do any of the possible plays, which is a mechanics issue, right? Like, you see the attacks, like dodge the attacks. Once again, like, we see the Fire Strike coming, right? You got plenty of time to see this Fire Strike. Like, you have like 2 seconds, a second and a half, right? You eat both of those Fire Strikes once again. So this has to stop happening, right? Like, you don't seem like you're trying to dodge them at all. Yeah, you literally aren't moving in any way to dodge it. Because you get so low, the Ana throws a grenade at you. That lost the fight right there. Once Ana throws a grenade at you, there's no way that you could possibly win this fight. Grenade is an incredibly powerful offensive ability. It's actually a very bad defensive ability for teammates. For keeping yourself alive, it's pretty good. But for teammates, not good. You want the nade to land in the opposing team so that your team can get kills, especially since you're the fight high ground here with no cover. You need all the advantages you can get. By taking 200 damage, it meant that it scared your Ana and she grenaded you. That was the wrong call by her, right? But it was prompted by your mistakes eating those Fire Strikes, which are very preventable. So you've given up contesting this, sort of. You're indecisive about whether to contest it. Absolutely the right call here is to contest this. Because if you think about it, if you don't contest here, where are you going to contest next anyway, right? If you contest over here, then you're in one fight territory, right? If you lose this one, they're going to be at final. And you only get one more fight to fight. If you fight right here, blow all the resources, you buy some time, okay, they cap, then you'll be able to return, because remember, after it caps, the cart stops for like, I don't know, 5-10 seconds. It's a pretty long time, which will give your team time to come back out and take another fight in this area. But if you don't challenge right now, that only gives your team 2 more chances to win the game, versus if you fight now, you have 3 more chances to win the game, right? Three strikes, right? Losses that you would take in order to defend. Yeah, not challenging right here is a mistake. The thing is, like, it's even worse because you're indecisive, right? You're burning your shield and resources down because you're like not sure if you want to hold, or I think you might be holding it for your team. I'm telling you that's useless. As a general rule for Reinhardt, especially at lower ranks, I would never even think about shielding for my team. it's not helpful because pretty much all the times you think that it's going to do something, it's not going to do something. Does that mean it's actually useless? It is not. There's absolutely times you do it, like if your soldier's visoring or Cassie's high nooning or things like that. But like that's too complicated for I think lower rank players to process and track accordingly. That's why you should use the shield selfishly. Use the shield to get close to the cart so to have full health, then fight as a result. Alright, they're gonna cap here. Alright, they've already capped. So this whole fight is irrelevant. Even if you win this fight right now, as the other team, it doesn't matter. Literally doesn't matter. I would be thrilled that you're using ultimates right now. Why does it not matter? Because their spawn is right here, right? If you win a fight right now, all it buys you is like another 15, 20 seconds. Versus if you win a fight over here, that's going to buy you like another minute because their spawn is so much further away. So that's why this fight does not matter. Like as the other team, I'm thrilled if you're popping ultimates. I would just hold all my ultimates and just let you kill me. But if we're going to take the win, great, that's fine. You get charged, you killed. Obviously your shatter is also no good here. Like he has his shield up. There's no reason to believe that he will drop the shield. Right? Like he has his shield well up before you pop the shatter, and then it just doesn't work. Rein versus Rein is very complicated. I have a guide on Rein versus Rein. There's very specific timings for when you can pull off shatters reliably. Trying to guess shatters is a bad call, right? Don't rely on the enemy team being bad, right? Enemy Rein being bad to get your shatters off. Shatter when it's impossible for the opposing Rein to block your shatter. And there are certain windows where that is possible. Alright, so resetting. So now you see, as I mentioned, because you didn't contest that, we're down to final fight, right? This is the last fight territory. You lose this fight, it's the end of the game. End of the round. So really bad situation to put yourself in. Again, you should get at least 2 fights per point in payload. Alright? You really should have 2 fights. You should have 1 fight that was here and 1 fight that was here. But again, because you did not contest over here, it meant that you're only going to get 2 fights here instead of 3, right? Being able to, because you didn't get to, really the problem is on your previous fight, right? The previous point, you should have gotten 2 fights here, right? 1 fight should have happened somewhere in this area, and the second fight should happen somewhere in this area. This is the fight that you missed because you did not contest. See, that's a good double fire strike, right? I assume you don't know how to shield hop based on the fact that you have not shield hop so far. That's also in my Reinhardt guide. So one thing to think about for Ana is one of the best tips I ever heard for Reinhardt is treat all of Ana's abilities as ultimates when you are playing Reinhardt, because both sleep and grenade will really ruin your day. So if I haven't seen her use sleep or grenade, I'm assuming she has sleep or grenade. So 365 health, I'm very careful here to not eat a grenade. Because if I eat a grenade, I'm probably going to die. 600 health, I eat a grenade, not a big deal. 300 health, yeah, it's a huge deal. So I'm watching right now, I see her jumping to make the angle easier, I immediately shield right now. This should be a blocked grenade. It's a very telegraphed move on the honest part to come in and grenade you. Right there, she even jumps, makes it very obvious, jumps in front of the shield. This should be a shield off. As soon as she nades you, you're dead. Like even with the shield up, you're gonna die, and then the fight's over. All right, so you are supposed to be a Winston main, so we'll see how the Winston gameplay looks. Tap tap tap. It's fine. I would have gone on the Junkrat by now. I don't really know why you haven't. Right? I think that I would have jumped over here, landed behind him, put down bubble, and then just burned the Junkrat and forced him to double concussive out. And if he doesn't have double concussive, he's gonna die. I'm very surprised you have, again, eating fire strikes all the time. So this is what I mentioned. You do it. I think significantly later. I think the mechanics here are also no good. You're gonna jump too far. You should have landed between him and his team to body block him to prevent him getting out. So you see how he's just gonna walk out of here? This is no good. Right? You should have landed right here, which would have knocked him this way, and then you could physically prevent him from getting back to his team. But because you do this A, too late, and B, with not great mechanics, he barely takes any damage, and the Reinhardt's going to force you out. So this is not a good engagement. You jump. I think this is a dangerous jump, but I think it was okay given the situation. I think that if anything, I would have tried to land on top, because I'm worried about the Reinhardt charging me. Right? When you land, yeah, Reinhardt overextends right now, but when you land here, if the Reinhardt had more health, he could just charge and kill you really easily. But he's purple, so it's good. So this is not good. right? Generally speaking, if you're Winston and Reinhardt is hitting you with this hammer, you're almost always doing something wrong, right? There's no reason for you to be forcing the Reinhardt here. Like you could jump to here and then zap the Mercy and then the Junkrat, right? And then use this as a staging ground to then jump over at the Ana. Right? You could also potentially even just jump the Ana directly, but not at 325 health you can't. Right? See, the Reinhardt is doing a lot of damage to you. I just want you to look at the ult charge for the Reinhardt. Okay, he comes in, he's at 20% right now. Right? That didn't hit anybody, so this is all off you, right? He's at 30. Right? He's still looking for you. Right? 31. 35. 38. 42. 46. Right, he's farming you. He's farming you for ult charge, right? You're only at 33 right now, and I would say that it is, generally speaking, easier for you to get ult charge than the Reinhardt in the situation. Again, walking forwards unnecessarily to eat the Reinhardt swing. So you can zap him from here. He cannot hit you with hammer from here, but instead you walk forwards, which allows him to hit you with the hammer. Reinhardt's at 60. You're only at 35. So this is the worst possible place that you could jump. Especially without bubble. There's no reason to jump into the Reinhardt's face. You want to avoid the opposing tank as a general rule of thumb for Winston. You're just not good at killing tanks. You only do 60 damage per second. For perspective, it would take you like 12 plus seconds to kill a Reinhardt. It is like comical how long it would take you to kill a tank. So you don't want to jump here, right? You'd want to jump, for example, in the back over here, put down bubble, and then zap 3-4 people. And then the Reinhardt can't charge you because you could just drop behind the car, right? And then buy yourself time, right? After 6 seconds, you can then jump back out. 6 seconds, 5 seconds, whatever the timer is. I would watch out for that trap on your right. I don't think you see it. So you put down bubble here. I would not put down bubble here because the Genji is not actually a threat for me in a 1v1 situation, and nobody else can see me. This is a wasted bubble. The Genji is also not at risk of dying. If he's low, I would bubble here to prevent the healing, but A, he already has Mercy Beam on him, and B, he's not low. So, mistakes. You're jumping and trying to force the Winston, which is, again, wrong call. Absolutely a mistake. And then you now lost 2 people. So, the biggest problems we see so far is that you're not jumping in the right place, you're not jumping at the right time, you're not using bubble correctly, and you're taking way too much damage from the Reinhardt. Right? These are all major problems that are preventing you from winning this fight. Like, in the grand scheme of things, you're not actually doing very much as a tank. Okay, lots of things have happened here that are weird. So first of all, you should, like, you see the Junkrat is shooting at you. You take one grenade, then you're gonna eat another grenade here. Like, you see, like, all you do is move to the left, and then you don't get hit by the grenades that are coming at you. That's number one. Number two is you decide at this moment to go in. Maybe. It happens at almost the same moment, so I'm not sure if you were planning on going in if you hadn't gotten nanoed. But I guess you probably were trying to go in the nano. But there's no reason for the Ana to be nanoing you here. This is actually a really bad decision. But note that you have 2 people who died in the previous fight, and they are not back yet. So you're fighting a 5-on-3. Even with nano, even if you hadn't been shattered, this is not a great fight. You go for the supports, she misses, I think just misses sleep. That's a good jump, right? Good mechanics, right? Genji's working on you, you need to jump back over the top. Oh boy. You are extremely lucky to not die there. So, you're a little slow with the jump. You're extremely lucky to not be dead. So, after you go with this, you should wound to the left. So, in the air, you can do what's called air strafing, where you can actually move a little bit in the air. I would move to the left to stay behind the statue on the way down. But once you're down here, you need to get healed up. You should hear the ride on your right and react. I really hope you're wearing a headset. And you just eat the fire strike and die. Like, if you literally had 5 more health, I think you're at, what, 95-ish? Yeah, you're at like 90, somewhere in the 90s. If you stayed alive for a quarter second more, you survive this. But you should have heard the Reinhardt coming and acted accordingly. Like, you don't seem to have much of a sense of how to dodge projectiles, which is a problem. This is a bad charge. Oh my god, he gets away with it. Okay, so interesting play. It's actually totally fine to pop ulti right now. So, you've landed behind the Rein, he's purple, he's low, I would pop ulti, and then now knock him backwards towards my team. Because remember, trading is good on offense. We lost one, right? We lost one, but because we have short spawn, trading is good. He's purple, if I pop primal, I can virtually guarantee that he will die, right? If I just knock him this way, even without perfect mechanics, he's gonna be dead. And then we can take a 5-on-4 on the rest of the team. Letting him get away here is a mistake. Yeah. So you lost your Bastion. Now's not the time to go in because you lost your Bastion, but no one's looking at the Junkrat, which is very lucky. This is going to force out Primal, probably. I mean, definitely winnable. You have Coalescence, so yeah, I think this is winnable. Don't worry about the Mercy. Killing the Mercy out of the air as with Primal Rage is like an owl level play. It is really hard to do it. Like, really hard is an understatement. I do not think GM1 players could consistently kill a Mercy out of the air. A Valkyrie Mercy. I just don't think that is something to even bother trying to do. I would just force the Rhine off the point so you can start capping. Now I'd go for it. Yeah, now this is good. Now that she's low. Kill him. Oh boy. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I think that's fine. Yep, I wouldn't have meleeed because he was blading, but yeah, you're gonna get the cap. Alright, great. Wait, did he contest this? Weird. Alright. So the other team's making a mistake by contesting here. There's no reason for them to be on this point. But you don't have bubble, so you're in big trouble. So you're purple, you don't have bubble, just jump this way, right? Jump this way, back to your team, reset the fight, get health. Don't die here. Dying here just wastes time. Oh man, you guys didn't even cap it. Oh, okay, that's why they contested. Okay, let's rewind back here, because I feel like something different should have happened. Oh, okay, you jump over. Okay, so that's a mechanics issue. Bubble also was questionable whether or not that was valuable or not, but not having bubble right now is really bad. Yeah, this is just kind of a mechanics issue of not being able to pressure the Junkrat out. Rough, okay. I glanced at the end of the game, so I do know that you win this fight at least. This point. Alright, so again, think about what we want to do. We don't want to land here. This is a bad place to land because we can get charged and we can get blown up really quickly. Going over here, good, right? Going over here, good. Like there's like multiple options here, right? Going over here is fine. Just anywhere that you stay out of range of the Reinhardt swing is very, very important. Yep. Okay, we dodged it. Yep. Great. Bastion murders the Reinhardt. You got Nanos gets pop, which is completely unnecessary, but you gotta finish your reload. Yeah, see, Nano didn't do anything, right? Like, you pop Nano, but like you get slept right away, and then like the fight's already won. This is a 5-on-3, so this is a bad Nano. You shouldn't be here. You should have stepped up already. It's not your job to stay on the cart. You want to go up here and play space. So you should already be taking this space away from the enemy. One of the most important things I can tell you as to climb is, as tanks, don't play on the cart, right? Go up, take space, right? If you take this upper platform away from them, then you'll injure them, you'll burn resources, and you'll prevent them from freely shooting at your team. Because you can't stop that Junkrat from shooting right now, right? That Junkrat is just farming ult charge right now. You know, he's at 70, right? 71 just from time, right? He's going to hit this one, again, 74, 75, 80, 81, right? Like every single time he fires, he's just getting a ton more ult charge, and then you deal with tire, and you don't have a good way to deal with tire. You're very lucky that the charge mechanics are wonky because you just literally step into him and he gets bounced up instead of charging you against the cart. Yeah, you're gonna lose your Ana there. So what should you have done here instead? I would have gone high ground because again, I cannot stop Reinhardt as a Winston. It's just not possible. So I would go up here and put pressure on the Mercy and the Junkrat instead, right? You have to stop thinking of your job as stopping what the enemy tank does and thinking, what is my hero actually good at? If you want to play a tank stopper and make your life simple, play like Orisa, for example, right? Orisa's really, really good at shutting down opposing tanks. So if you play Orisa's perspective, your job is pretty much always, what's the enemy tank going to do? Stop them from doing that. And maybe they'll make your reads easier. But as Winston, that's just not a successful path forwards for you. I would bubble immediately, yeah. I would not primal here. Okay. So, why do I say don't primal here? Let's look at the situation, right? We have 3 people up right now. They have 4 people up. And I still have teammates who are dead and respawning. So why am I popping primal right now? Like, this is a really, really, really hard situation to imagine with primal rage with basically no help from my team because they're all going to retreat to high ground. I have to kill at least one person to make this worth it. Out of 4 targets, in difficult terrain with no team support and 2 enemy supports still alive to heal them. This feels unlikely to me. I mean, the Junkrat didn't even go back to his team, and you're still struggling to kill him, right? Like, you see how this Primal got completely wasted. Like, you had no chance at pulling this off, and wasting Primal Rage was a big deal. All right, so once again, you're eating every single Fire Strike. It honestly looks like you walk into them intentionally. I don't know if you know this, but eating Fire Strike does not stop it. It goes through you, right? So if you're trying to block it for your team, it goes through you into your team as well. So just don't eat Fire Strikes. So I don't think you know what your timing or plan is here, okay? So you need all 5 people together. I don't want to be taking damage right now. I want to be like hiding around the corner or whatever, zap, right? Force the Junkrat to have to go wide to try to go after me. And then I want to go probably in high ground behind them and play it. I also wouldn't play Winston in this point to begin with. I just don't think that Winston's all that strong here, but I mean, it's still viable for sure. All right, you lost Moira after Coalescence. I immediately abort this plan, right? With Blade, I just jump back to my team, try to kill the Genji, and just chill. There's nothing you can do right now. Right? Just go back. Just go home. Do not jump in. This is going to result in you dying too. The good news is the other team over-ulted, right? They didn't need Blade, and they didn't need Shatter, but they used both of them. So, you know, both teams make mistakes. Okay, so once again, I would just jump right away with Nano. I know you are missing 22 ammo, and that's why you're reloading, but I would jump right away, because when the other team sees you have Nano, they're immediately going to scatter, right? For better teams, they're like, oh shoot, Nano, they're all going to scatter right away. So you wasting a second to reload is going to give them a chance to react. Now granted, in this case, they actually don't do anything, but at higher ranks, they will immediately scatter, and you'll get way less value if you don't go right away. You can't jump in right here without Primal. You really should be dead right now. But team does a good job. Forcing it forward. Yep, good bubble, right? I would jump. No, why are you going back? You have 1 second left. I would jump to kill this Junkrat. Well, kill Mercy first, yeah. Well, that's going good. Alright, well, he killed your tires. Nothing you can do about that. Yeah, everything is pretty much going wrong for you. I would also note that you have like no synergy with your team whatsoever. Like, you can't really help your Bastion, and you sort of can help your Reaper. You can't do anything to stop Shatter. You can't do anything to stop Blade. And you struggle to kill Mercy. So it's just like really hard here, especially if when your engagements aren't on point for you to do anything. Like, you can't stop Tire. It's no good, right? So my perspective here is I'm close to ultimate, right? 84%. I just want to stay alive, farm Bolt Charge. Okay? I want to step up right now. Right? Zap him. This is not actually close enough to zap. I don't know if you knew this, but you should see hit markers on your screen, on your crosshair, when you're hitting them. So you see how your Tesla cannon is short right now? You need to step up a little bit more to make sure you're zapping, because you can get Primal very quickly here. Right? Very quickly. Zap, 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 right? And then just jump into the back line, zap, pop bubble, right? Pop Primal, and then you kill 4 people. That is an entirely possible play right now for you to win this game. But for you to be reloading here, chilling, like, you have no sense of urgency right now. You're in overtime. You're in big trouble. The other team is way better at brawling. You only have 3 people. You need to kill them very soon. Right? Things will get worse as time goes on, not better. Again, outside of the range to zap. Right? You see that once again, like, your Tesla cannon is way short on the zap. Like, you need to step forwards, right, and get some of this damage in to get Primal. Because once you get Primal, your current health doesn't matter. But because you can't get Primal yet, now you're going to die, right? And you have 8% left. With just slightly better mechanics, you would have Primal right now, and you have a chance to win this. Not a good chance, I would say 25% chance maybe, but without Primal, you have a 0% chance of winning this fight. All right, so in summary, there's a lot. I forgot about the Reinhardt section too. So I would say that on both heroes, you just regularly eat spam that you shouldn't be eating. Like, you eat almost every single fire strike that is thrown by the opposing Reinhardt in this entire game on both Winston and Reinhardt. It's like pretty bad. So that's no good. That's like kind of the overarching problem. I think that across both heroes, you need to know what you can do and when you are supposed to do it. That part also seems like a struggle for you, right? I think that there are times where you just simply don't know, like, should I be taking this fight or not, right? Can I win this fight? Where should I be going, right? For Winston specifically, it's like the exact jump location and bubble and who you should be going for is really important. Like, you spend way too much time getting hit by the opposing Reinhardt. Those are all things that really, really hold you back, right? Because I do think the game is quite winnable. Like, I don't think there's an enormous team differential here, but you not taking that fight at the end of second point was a really big one. That would probably shave like 2 minutes off the clock or so, if you've been able to win that fight and then force another one after that. So that really costs you. Your ultimate usage on both heroes was pretty unremarkable, right? I don't really remember you using Shatter to win any fights, and I don't remember you using Primal Rage to win any fights. So that's also something that's gonna really hold you back. I think your general jump mechanics on Winston are good, actually. I'd say better than Silver 4 for sure. Like, if you told me from a jump mechanics perspective that this was like gold or even like low plat, I believe you, right? I think that your general like feel for like I want to jump to this spot is good, but you need to know where is that spot, where's the right spot to go to. All right, I'm gonna stop there. I'll link a bunch of resources. Hopefully this is helpful.